So the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, the first scene in the first movie where he does the transformation and you can see just he's flexing, he's got rippled abs. Yeah, that's when I started my lifting career. So that was probably 2009. I was probably 14 when I started, and I said, man, that's just the goal physique. That's what I want to look like. So I expressed interest in that, and my aunt bought me a purple Reebok bench that came with 2-pound dumbbells all the way up to 10 pounds. So I just went completely ham on all the exercises that came with that bench in a pamphlet. I just went completely ham on all of those. I was doing like up to 50 reps per set on like just on a dumbbell chest press. So I'm doing my thing on this bench press, and I'm getting so, I would say, endurance-wise stronger, that I needed to increase the weights I was doing. So I would ask my mom to go to Dick's, and we would get from there 20-pound dumbbells all the way up to 30 pounds. So I'm probably, I don't know, 15 at this point, and 30 pounds is pretty respectable for that, and doing exercises with that. And right around that time, that summer, I did P90X with Tony Horton. That was a fun little program there, but that was mainly body weight, and if you had dumbbells around, you would use them. So we would do a lot of push-ups, pull-ups, dumbbell stuff if we needed to. We had some plyometrics and yoga and all that stuff in there too. So that was fun. So I did that one summer before, I believe, my junior year. And when I came back to school, everyone was like, "Bro, what are you on? Blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you guys have no idea. Like, I'm not on anything. I just, didn't waste my summer. I was actually active. I was lifting weights and skateboarding and, being active." And then I decided to get a gym membership for more weights. And I remember I had to ride my bike there quite a bit. And I remember I was so self-conscious that I would go behind the gym and change and then go in. Like I wouldn't go and change in the locker room. So that's an early on little secret there, I guess I have. But anyway, up until I got more confidence, I would finally use the facilities of the gym, I guess. And the start of my senior year, I was about 17, I would wake up in the morning at 4 a.m. and ride my bike to the gym every day in the summer. And that's when I would do most of my training. I'd wake up as a kid. I would wake up in the summer at 4 in the morning in pitch black dark, ride my bike 3-4 miles to the gym and back on maybe like a scoop of pre-workout and an apple. That's wild. Anyway, I did that for a long time, and then most of that year I just went to that gym normally. So by that time I'd probably gained from the Reebok bench days till then, I probably gained about 45 pounds. I started off like 130, 135, and then by the end of those years, I was about probably 180. I probably graduated high school 180, 185. So it was a pretty good gain. I mean, it was a noticeable difference on my frame of my gains there. And so I would continue strength training and doing my progress and being consistent and showing up all the time. And that's when some people in the gym started just noticing and talking to me, coming up to me and everything. And one trainer there was like, "Hey man, like I see you got some grit, but you need to do better with your lifts, and your form needs tweaked and everything." So I took that advice and I listened to people and took advice. And eventually, after graduating high school, I plan my first bodybuilding show that September that year, and did horribly. Like, I had no idea what was going on. Things were rushing too fast. I wasn't lean enough. I didn't have a tan. Like, I looked terrible. The music I picked was terrible. Nothing worked. I was in a bad mental state, just everything. So at least I did it. And so from then there, I said, I'm really going to hone in, lock in, and I actually did 3 more within 18 months in between. Yeah. So I did 2 in 2012 and then 1 in 2013. In 2013 when I looked the best, but I did the worst because it was just a more stacked show. And that's kind of where my competitive days dropped off, is actually when I was a teenager. I didn't really compete after that. That same weekend in 2013, I did a powerlifting meet too, just because I was lean. Like, I was weighing like 177 after the cut. So I was lean, and I knew my numbers would be okay because, I was lifting a lot more for my body weight. So I was like, yeah, I'll do a powerlifting meet. It was actually at that same gym, so I was like, why not? Screw it. So I got humbled very early, very quickly, and I just, in my 20s, just did basic lifting again. Nothing really improved too much. I actually had like 3 back-to-back surgeries in my 20s, so I really didn't get to have too much progress in my 20s. And that's when I actually stumbled upon more of Mike Mentzer's training, and I did high intensity training for probably 4 years in a row. And unfortunately, I didn't make any gains with that style of training, man. I wanted to believe so badly, like, that training was going to do so much for me. Like, I went all in. I was dogmatic about it. I made everyone train that way. All my clients train that way. And I was personal training all through all these years too. From 20 to even now, I still do personal training. So I would have all my clients do it. They would see weights go up in the gym, but maybe their bodies didn't change as much as they wanted them to. But your general population clients were fine, just getting stronger every time and striving for more. I wasn't training hardcore bodybuilders or nothing like that, just normal people. So pretty much all throughout my 20s, it was off and on training, and if I wasn't going through some random surgery, then I'd be training HIIT style, and yeah, I would get stronger per set, but man, volume does drive some growth, no matter what people say. Like, it does work. You can't go overboard, but it does work. But anyway, so that after all my surgeries, that led me to more of a strength training protocol than I've ever done before. I just actually started a starting strength program and got my numbers back up, and eventually got my squat back up into the high 300s, low 400s, and my bench got up quite a bit, and actually started getting serious about deadlifting again. And that was probably 28 to 29, and then I would eventually just hop around gym to gym, do more bodybuilding splits, and then I just, for some reason, a summer ago, I got really into strongman training. Like, I read Brooks Kubik's dinosaur training book, and I really liked that book, and it resonated with me, and I just like, man, I really want to get hardcore more into strength training and strongman training. So I decided to rent out a garage gym, and that's where I do now. And I basically, for a long time, just did strongman movements, heavy deadlifts, Zercher squats, overhead press. I bought a sandbag. I just did strongman training, man. Like, I loved it. I still do. And then as I learned more and grew more, I finally got a squat rack in there and bought a bench, and I have a bunch of grip stuff now and a bunch of other trinkets of, strongman greats of the past, and that's kind of just how I train now. And I just keep it simple, man. But I think in my youth, I was humbled very quickly, losing all those comps and just seeing competition that's way better than you, and you know, I thought it was going to be bodybuilding's great gift to earth, because I took to it, and I was never really good at being on stage. I didn't really try too hard. I thought I was, but I wasn't. And then the powerlifting thing was just for fun. I mean, I didn't place or anything. I got third, but out of like 7 people. And then I never tried anything else other than that. And all my 20s were just hit and miss in the gym, you know, because I was in and out of, you know, recovery and all that. So now I'm really just trying to hit it hard with compound movements again, and trying to show people that you can come back from anything and train real hard and feel good and do what you need to do. So that's kind of my lifting career there. It's kind of a little short story there. I can't believe my lifting career could be summed up in 10 minutes, but that's pretty freaking, again, that's humbling too, man. Like, so no matter where you start, man, just keep going. That's one thing, you know, maybe I wasn't good at the competition stuff, but man, I will always be in the seat. I will always show up. I will be consistent. I will always be in the seat, man. And I think that's where I got an edge on a lot of people, man, is I don't do everything perfect, and I typically don't have a coach. I do my own thing, and I just know that I'm going to show up. I'm going to be that person that no matter how bad it's going, how bad I feel, I'm never going to quit. So I started at 14. I'm going to be 32. You know, I'm not going to quit. That's 18 years of training, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stay natural. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep progressing, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. You know, that's another 18 years of training, man. It's going to be pretty good. So that's me in a nutshell, man. Just talking to you guys. But I will see you guys later.